When you've got a Roth IRA, once you turn age 59 and a half, does the 5-year rule still matter? Might be surprised by the answer. I got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Once you turn age 59 and a half, does the Roth IRA 5-year rule still matter? Does it matter? Actually, this is a question we get all the time, and one that we have wrestled with before because there's not a lot of data and research on it. One that we've wrestled before with some of our newer advisors. So here's the deal. The Roth IRA, just to level the playing field, this is the retirement account where you, as you make contributions, there's no tax benefit. There's no tax deduction. So it's after-tax contributions. Those contributions, this is a key point. Those contributions you can draw back out. You don't need to wait until retirement, 59 and a half. Your contributions, you can draw back out if you need them. Now, I wouldn't go raid that piggy bank, but you're allowed to do that. That's a key point here. So after-tax money is contributed to the Roth IRA. You don't get a tax benefit. All the capital gains, all the dividends, all the growth are sheltered within that Roth IRA. And then the growth, you can pull that out tax-free in retirement. Well, how do you define retirement? Once you're age 59 and a half. Once you're age 59 and a half, you can draw your growth out tax-free. So the money that comes out, you don't pay tax on it because the contributions you put in, you never deducted in the first place. So that's already after-tax money. And all the growth on that, again, once you turn age 59 and a half, you can withdraw those dollars tax-free. And so that's where age 59 and a half comes from. Those are the rules. There's a little bit more to it that most people don't talk about, and that's the 5-year rule. It's not just 59 and a half that is the hurdle to draw the growth out tax-free. You also have to have had a Roth IRA for 5 years. Held a Roth IRA for at least 5 years. Now, is that the same Roth IRA for 5 years? No. Is it 5 consecutive years? I don't know why it wouldn't be, but no, that's not true. That's not true either. It's just any Roth IRA at any point in your life, anywhere in the world for 5 years. And so pretty low bar to get over, and that's where we've shared, as we've talked about this before, there's no reason why you shouldn't just clear that hurdle right now. Get that started. Even if you make too much money and you can't contribute to a Roth, then you should do a small Roth conversion and put $100 in a Roth IRA just to get this 5-year rule, that monkey off your back. So that's the first 5-year rule, because there's actually 2 5-year rules, and the second one has to do with Roth conversions. A Roth conversion is when you take pre-tax money that you've already contributed to an IRA or maybe to a 401k, and you move it over from pre-tax to Roth. Okay, and in that move, you're taking money out of the pre-tax side or out of your traditional IRA, money that you've gotten a deduction for as you've made the contribution. So it's pre-tax money that you're flipping over into a Roth. Well, that's a taxable event. You have to pay tax when you do that. And then each time that Roth conversion, those dollars that flip into the Roth, they have their own 5-year rule. So those dollars that you converted and that growth has to sit in that Roth IRA for at least 5 years before you can touch it and pull those dollars out tax-free. So now, level playing field. That's how the Roth IRA works, and I love it, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all, but my goodness, there's many advantages for using the Roth, okay? That's how it works, and those are the 2 5-year rules. So then now back to the question. Once you turn age 59 and a half, does the 5-year rule even matter anymore? Yes and no. Yes and no. It depends which 5-year rule we're talking about. Yes, the 5-year rule matters if you haven't met that first 5-year rule. You still need to have had a Roth IRA for at least 5 years in your lifetime. Being age 59 and a half does not supersede or does not trump that. So here's the example. Your entire career, you've only funded your 401k. And maybe even you've funded the Roth 401k, the Roth side of your 401k, but you've never had an IRA, you've never had a Roth IRA, so you've only funded your 401k. Well, then you retire and you roll your IRA dollars over to, your pre-tax 401k dollars over to an IRA. and you roll your Roth 401k dollars into a Roth IRA. And then you say, all right, well, it's time to start drawing some of this money out, or I'm retired, I want to buy that new car, and I don't want to pay tax. We can discuss this later, whether you should draw from pre-tax or Roth first, but you decide to draw it out of the Roth IRA. You're 60 years old. You're past age 59 and a half, but have you had a Roth IRA for at least 5 years? No, you have not. You've had a Roth 401k maybe, but you have not met that 5-year rule, and that rule is still intact whether you're age, 15 or age 59 and a half. It doesn't matter. You have to meet that 5-year rule in order to draw the growth out tax-free. Therefore, yes, that first 5-year rule of needing to have a Roth IRA, any Roth IRA, for at least 5 years in your lifetime still matters, even if you're older than age 59 and a half. So get that one done. Now the second 5-year rule of Roth conversions, every Roth conversion needing to wait 5 years before you can access those dollars, that those have a 5-year rule. Does that still matter once you turn age 59 and a half? That answer is no. Every Roth conversion has their own 5-year rule. So if you do a Roth conversion every year from the year you're 40, so if you're doing a Roth conversion within your 401k of company match dollars, something like that. And pretty soon, company match dollars, you'll be able to elect for those to go into the Roth side. That's legal, but it hasn't officially been made available yet. They're still working out the logistics, but say you did that. Then that at 40 years old, when you do that first Roth conversion, you wouldn't be able to access your basis until age 45. You do another one at 41, you won't be able to access those dollars until 46. You do another one at age 42, won't be able to access those dollars till 47, and so on. So there's a 5-year rule attached to each of those of your Roth conversions. But once you turn age 59 and a half, that 5-year rule stops. So if you do a Roth conversion when you're 57, those dollars, that basis isn't available to you tax-free until you turn age 59 and a half, but you wouldn't have to wait until age 62. Okay, and here's the reason why. If there wasn't a 5-year rule on Roth conversions, and you were in a situation where you needed to get your hands on some cash, you know the Roth rule that, well, the money that you contribute or your cost basis, you can draw that out before retirement, no penalty, no worries about that. So here you are, you're in need of some cash, and you get creative and you say, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a Roth conversion because that's not penalized. I'll have to pay the tax on it, but there's no penalty for doing a Roth conversion. And therefore, I've got 10 grand in my IRA. I'm going to convert all 10 grand to my Roth and I'll pay the tax. Well, as soon as you do that, now I've got 10 grand in my Roth IRA. I can draw that 10 grand out penalty free, right? Because that's the rules with Roth IRAs. The amount you contributed or your basis, you can draw out penalty free. And therefore, if there wasn't this 5-year waiting period, then that would be a loophole, a very logical loophole that people would use to get around the 10% early withdrawal penalty. That's why that 5-year rule exists. And with that premise, not that the IRS is always logical or Congress ever is logical in the rules that they come up with, but once you turn age 59 and a half, and if you draw dollars out of your IRA at 59 and a half, is there a 10% penalty? No, there isn't. And therefore, forcing this 5-year rule on Roth conversions after the time when you could draw dollars out of your IRA with no penalty, it's illogical. Therefore, the first 5-year rule of needing a Roth IRA for at least 5 years, that rule matters, whatever age you are, okay? So meet that one. Every Roth conversion has to be held for 5 years. That 5-year rule goes away once you turn age 59 and a half. So that is the answer. I've got 3 more pro tips for Roth IRAs. Number 1, and I mentioned it in here, most people argue with it, they don't quite understand the rules, but holding a Roth 401k for 5 years does not satisfy the Roth IRA 5-year rule. I think in the future it might. They might change those laws. Right now, that is not the case. Holding a Roth 401k for 5 years does not satisfy the Roth IRA holding 5-year rule, okay? So make sure that you open a Roth IRA, even if it's with $50, and get that 5-year rule satisfied. That's pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2, we're talking about doing Roth conversions, and and the fact that, well, if you're under age 59 and a half, they have their own 5-year rule. Be aware that doing a Roth conversion is taxable, and if you withhold taxes on that Roth conversion when you're not age 59 and a half, when you're younger than age 59 and a half, that withholding is seen as money that came out of your IRA but didn't land in your Roth. It went to Uncle Sam. That's not only taxable, but that's also penalized. So when you're doing a Roth conversion, makes a ton of sense. Work with your CFP, but figure out where you're going to get the taxes from. And then finally, pro tip number 3 is there's actually a third 5-year rule that was recently replaced thanks to the Secure Act 1.0. So this third 5-year rule is when you inherited a Roth IRA, you used to have a 5-year time period where you'd had to withdraw all that money. When you inherited a Roth IRA, you had 5 years to withdraw the account. That was that third 5-year rule. And because the Roth IRA grows tax-free, it's sheltered and it grows tax-free, most people said, now I'm going to wait until the very last moment to draw those dollars out. Thanks to the Secure Act 1.0, that 5-year rule has been erased. It's now a 10-year rule. And yes, the 10-year rule has created a lot of confusion with 401ks and IRAs and all that, but it's actually given you more space with Roth IRA. So if you inherit a Roth IRA, you now have 10 years after the date of death by the end of that calendar year to draw out those dollars. Lots of planning opportunities there, both in funding Roth IRAs and achieving that first 5-year rule, doing Roth conversions, whether you should withhold on those, beneficiaries even we talked about as well. So work with your certified financial planner to plan through all of that for your unique financial situation. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one of my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.